media is not giving an equilibrium impression about the American culture and the American society. As a result, it built a positive ideas, a positive attitude, and realistically all good attitude in the mind of people living outside that culture. When facts discovered, the ordinary people in our culture start to accumulate negative experiences, but with denial. They don't want to believe it. They think it's just something which is not true. But the more they discover, and the more they discover, and the more they discover about the unrealistic positive impression the media try to impose in their mind, they have a reaction. This reaction makes them feel and understand that there is nothing good in the United States of America or in the American culture. This particular bad false impression do cause cultural conflict. By time, by experience, the culture reach to a point that the American culture is a human culture. Believe it or not. They have the good, they have the bad, they have the liars, they have the truthful, they have the evil, and they have the one who do good. They have thieves and they have honest people. They have good economy, they have bad economy, and so on and so forth. When they reach this point, which I call it maturity of understanding the remote culture, they start deal responsibly with it, and they start to put realistic good links between the two cultures, i.e. the culture in which they are living here in the Islamic culture and the culture that it is living there, i.e. they try to link between the two constitutions, if I may say so. This point of maturity, I think, is the way by which the educated people look towards the American culture. And it would not be far away from the truth if we divide the American culture into two major groups: the officials, or I should say the administrative part of the Constitution, or those who are responsible about the administrative part of the Constitution, and those who have the real power by the Constitution, i.e. the people, the normal citizen. Yes, I do think that there is a difference between the officials who represent, or they supposed to represent, the ordinary American citizen and the American citizen himself. Am I trying to tell my opinion about your culture? Yes, I'm trying to tell my opinion to your culture. I'm right, I'm wrong, this is, as I said, beside the point. But your official stance in the foreign policy, I think, is not compatible of what a lot of people, I mean the educated people who lived in the United States of America for a long time, and certainly, in my opinion, from the short period, from the short visit to the United States, I have concluded. The ordinary American men and women are not very well represented in the foreign policy of their government. In plain English, the officials of the American culture, the government of the American culture, is giving a bad impression and outside America about the American citizens? I think so, and I think many others think the same. It is important to mention that I am telling my opinion about the attitude and the behavior. This does not mean in any way giving an opinion about a specific person. Speaking about persons is not an objective way. But speaking about an attitude, no matter from what person it comes, I think it serves the purpose. I am here while telling my perspective and while telling my opinion to you. When I condemn a behavior and I condemn an attitude. And I give an opinion about an attitude and I give an opinion about a behavior. Regardless the person from whom this attitude or this behavior initialized. This is, I think, is important. Now, I want to go with you to another point of view that we hold in this culture, from where I'm speaking, towards the American culture. We think that both cultures here, with our institution, as I told you about it in the previous section of my message to you, and your culture, the American culture, are having two perspectives of one thing. This thing, I'm specifically meaning the civilization. Civilization from our perspective is different from civilization in your culture, American perspective. Now let me explain this. What do you think as American culture about all Egyptian, let's go civilization, just for sake of using the term. The American culture and the Western Europe culture and probably a lot of other cultures would think that old Egyptians, the pharaohs, is a civilization, and the biggest meaning or the biggest demonstration of such civilization are the pyramids and the sites of worshipping. This is great indication that there were a civilization. Well, from our perspective, this is not a civilization. This is sort of modernization according to that age, and there is a difference. I think by thinking deeply in this matter, in the meaning of the civilization, the American culture and probably the whole Western culture define the civilization as how much humans are able to build organizations and corporate to make the human at that particular culture, which is developing organization and corporate, happy and comfortable. In our perspective, civilization is not this. In our perspective, civilization is how much the human is respected and how much the constitution is applied. Physical example, yes, I can give you a physical example. Let's take the old Egyptians, the same example as a demonstrating example. When we look at the pyramids, there are three big pyramids. By themselves, those pyramids are simply graves, but built in a highly architectural way. I'm not sure if you have visited, or some of you visited the pyramids or not, but I'm sure that you can look to the pictures of the pyramid. You will find the three pyramids, main pyramids, and then after the small one, I think towards the eastern side of it, there are three very, very small pyramids. Very small three pyramids, sort of rocks over each other. Those three very small pyramids, which is in comparison to the large pyramids are